Oh man, Morty, knocking at the door. No. All right. So anyway. What's up, everybody? It's Fred with GameBlips here. Wanted to do an unboxing. Haven't done one of those in a while, right? So I've been down this slippery slope of doing new little tiny electronics builds with a lot of people know them as Raspberry Pis, or these system-on-chip boards. This one's a little tiny nano, what's called Nano Pi Neo. This is the 512 edition. It's got 512 megs of RAM on it. I've been doing a lot of Raspberry Pi Zeros, but I also got into this thing from the company called Next Thing Company. Closet says so. And they also put out their own little system-on-chip board, very similar to Raspberry Pi. It's called the Chip. And actually what I'll do is I'll pull one out right here from, yeah, there we go. So this is the PocketCHIP. But this is the thing that actually runs it. Little tiny system on board, system on chip, little tiny development board. This has half a gig of RAM as well. You know, it just runs a little tiny version of Linux. It's really awesome and straightforward to use if you know how to use Linux and are into doing a little bit of your own. Not even your own development, but more of your own little like hardware hacking, doing a little bit of like case modding for this particular device. So yeah, this is called the PocketCHIP. A little too much glare there. There we go. This is called the PocketCHIP. Has a lot of the like 80s aesthetic to it. Very, you can hear me here. These are the super clicky keyboard, as they call it. It has a, I believe it's a 4.3-inch touchscreen, Wi-Fi built in. It'll do all kinds of stuff. It doesn't have a speaker right off the bat, so you'll see here I've got, this is an audio amplifier board, all wired up. There's a speaker underneath the chip itself. Plus I have a switch, an actual old school clicky physical switch that will actually let me turn the speaker on, you know, outside of using like headphones and things like that. So this is a Kickstarter edition. I've had this for a little bit of time now. I didn't do a Kickstarter backer. I really wish I would have known about these guys a long time ago, so I could have done an actual Kickstarter. This is proof right here that not all Kickstarters are bad. This is a physical unit. This exists. This is not a Kickstarter vaporware project. So they didn't actually take the money and run. They came out with something. They made promises. Not all of them came through. A lot of it was just shipping time. Not a big deal. They've had more than proof of concept, which is by far more than what a lot of other companies are doing out there, and that's great. Well, before I got my Kickstarter edition, because I was just chomping at the bit to get one of these things, I also ordered a pre-order version, which is actually a production model, and that comes in an actual box. The other one that I got off of Reddit. There's somebody on the NTC, or the PocketCHIP subreddit, and he said he had a pile of chips and a PocketCHIP, and he wasn't giving the PocketCHIP enough love, and he wanted to give it to somebody that actually would do something with it, which I actually have done. I use it for monitoring all of my computers here at home when I'm at work or other locations, things like that. But I wanted to get an actual production model version for a couple of different things. One, of course, it's got all the final kinks out of it. It's probably going to be running the newest firmware, which I'm going to flash it for the newest whatever one's out there firmware right off the bat. You know, so it's it's just. The other one I've turned into kind of a portable gaming machine, which I'm going to probably do with this too. The only problem is that right now the GPU that's on there is kind of locked away. They haven't fully developed access to that yet. So some of the games, especially 3D games, are painful. Real low low frames per second. So without further ado, I'm going to do an unboxing of the PocketCHIP. Hey, you can see myself in the reflection. Look at that, you guys. I'm going to do an unboxing of the PocketCHIP. This is still sealed from China, essentially. It came on the slow boat, went over to New York to their distribution office, came over this way, got stuck in Chicago for a while, and at about a day and a half ago it arrived in my mailbox. So a couple of things, just wanted to show off the box. As you can see, the picture of get my reflection out of there. The picture of the PocketCHIP itself. That's kind of the back side. It's not the most ergonomic thing. It gets actually pretty uncomfortable. You probably can't see like the lines and stuff on it where it comes through. One of the other things I wanted to point out in the design. For those of you that are familiar with Raspberry Pis and development boards, they have this whole rail at the top. I'll probably just bring it in a little bit. There we go. They have this whole rail on the top where you can actually put in your own, what they call GPIO pins. You can put your own header pins in there, or the receiver sockets. And I'm not going to zoom in that far, but if you look really close on one of these, they're actually staggered, and you can actually just drop them in there, and they're nice and firm. And what's nice about that is that you can do your own external development, Morty, external development with your PocketCHIP, and you don't have to permanently solder on these pins or the receivers. And that's a really intuitive design, that's really cool. They have a little spot here on the board. They cut out a little chunk in that board. You can put a lanyard on there. You can walk around with it on your chest, be like, sweet man, I'm hanging out in 2600 hacker convention, yo. You can do that. Plus there's there are two holes in the bottom. You can see here, go all the way through. You can see all the way to the closet. One's a round one. You can stick pens in there, and this one's a hexagonal one. You can stick pencils in there. So it doesn't come with a kickstand or a stand in the sense that it's built in, but it was designed with that in mind. You can just drop one of those pens or pencils through the holes and just use it as a stand. It's genius. It's pretty awesome. So, like I was saying, without further ado, Kickstarter production model. So, a couple of things on the box, like I was saying: games, music, Linux terminal, and much more. That's kind of their deal. The PocketCHIP, the power to change the game. Design. The box is pretty cool. It's very like 80s nostalgia. Open, fun, wow. It's got some of the specs on this side over here. Let's see. It comes with the chip. 3000 milliamp hour battery, 4.3 screen, 480 by 272. It is a touchscreen, full super clicky QWERTY keyboard, rugged injection molded shell, fully open source, GPIO breakouts, that's that rail on the top I was talking about, and the chip is actually removable, which is what I did in the beginning. I pulled it out so I can show you actually that it is a regular standard chip. That's kind of the standard $9 computer that you can buy from them. Picture of the chip, some other specs. It's got Wi-Fi BGN built in, 1 gigahertz processor, 4 megs of high-speed storage, half a gig of RAM. It's got Bluetooth 4.0, and it works with any display. And yes and no. There are extra boards. They call them dips because it's a chip and dip. You can put the dips on there. That'll give you VGA, give you HDMI. It comes standard with what's called a TRRS plug. It looks like a regular headphone jack, like a 3.5 millimeter plug. Yes, you can drop in regular headphones in there, stereo headphones, and you can actually just listen to music with it. But if you get a specially wired TRRS cable, you can actually output to composite. So that's kind of neat too. And of course, since it is one of those hacker tools, you can remote into it and actually hook up to it that way. So, oh man, Morty. I'm knocking on the door. No. Alright, so anyway, on the back, there's the get started. We have number 1, plug in to charge. So the cool thing with this, just like all the other dev boards, you can use just a micro USB cable. I don't think this actually comes with one. I'll have to double check. Oh yeah, it says on the back, charger and cable not included. And then number 2, bang, power it on. You can hold on the home button. So it's kind of like a cell phone. You hold down that power key and then it'll kick it on or turn it off, whichever way you want. And it says number 3, make things. Touch the screen and get started. So some of the things I wanted to point out, it comes standard with Sunvox. So if you're into making chip tunes, that's on there. And then the other cool thing is that it comes with Pico 8, which is called the Fantasy Console. I'm going to get into that in a second. So let's go ahead and get this open here. Use my handy-dandy knife. Let's get started. Smell that fresh China air. Mm-hmm. So this did get shipped to me from NTC. Like I mentioned, this is my pre-order box. So, like it says on the back, plug in to charge. So it's not going to work right off the bat. I'm thinking that it probably comes with a little bit of charge, but nothing really to write home about, nor am I going to be able to really do much on it, except for probably boot it up and then watch it die immediately. So we'll do a quick jump cut to a fully charged version, and we'll go from there. But first, let's take a look at the boxing. So pretty Spartan, pretty good. Nothing to write home about there. We have the, ooh, hey, it's good luck. I hit the mic. I always hit the mic at least once every show. So we have the NTC logo. So it shows that it's sealed, hermetically sealed. So we'll go ahead and cut that open here. There we go. It's like a little piece of origami. Ta-da! It looks eerily similar to my Kickstarter one. Who would have known? Of course, this one does not have the powered amplifier that I got wired in, plus the speaker that's tucked in underneath the chip as well. So one of the things I wanted to find out right off the bat, so on these Kickstarter editions, there was just kind of a quality seal. I got the little check marks like, yep, we did it, we looked at it. So I wanted to pull out the other one because rumor has it that there's a special, there we go, got that one in there, that there's a special surprise on the inside of these. Oh yes, I totally have it on there. There's a hologram sticker that goes over the quality check stickers. I hope I can get a good zoom in on this. Kinda. I'll put a still image of it, of an actual close-up. But it's a Doge, Shiba Inu, and it says "Such Pass NTC." So yeah, these guys get it. They have a sense of humor. They kind of have to for this kind of amazing endeavor that they've done. So I'm gonna drop that chip back in there. There we go. Alright, so so far that is that unboxing. I'm going to leave that protective sheen on there for now. But I'm gonna go get this charged up for at least maybe another half hour, so I'll be right back with you. Alright, we're back, and just wanted to say that I've got the PocketCHIP all powered, well charged. I'm gonna go ahead and power it up right now. I'm gonna hold down that home key at the bottom. I'll just hold it up to the camera here because it's pretty difficult to actually do anything with it in terms of screen capture, especially on a fresh boot. So you just saw the NTC logo there. Yeah. And it's kind of like a PC, so it takes a couple of seconds. It does have to boot. There There we go. You can see a little progress bar moving along. Little login prompt for Linux. It should auto log in into, I believe, what they call the Awesome Desktop. Not named by them, but it's one that they chose. There we go. There's that retro PocketCHIP logo. And here is the original tour. You can navigate using the left and right keys. The D-pad over here on this side. You can hit the escape key to jump out of it. You can also disable the tour by hitting 0 on the keyboard, right up at the top over here. But it's very usable, very real. So like I said, we can click, that brings us next. You can use your finger or a stylus. I do have a couple extra DS styli laying around. I will end up using that. And there are your apps. We have at the bottom here. That's the File Explorer. And then we have just like a really rudimentary notepad, like word processing program. And then over here is the help icon. Oh, man, the screen is set really weird right now, and it's picking up my green screen as well. And then we have Sunbox, so you can make those chip tunes like I was talking about. Pico 8, and then the actual terminal where you do all kinds of stuff with it. You know, update the OS, install new programs from the terminal command line, that kind of stuff. So, oh, it actually tells you right here. So I hit right, it says that's the terminal. You can code in the terminal. You can play, edit, and what does that say? Play, edit, and create games in Pico 8. Make music in Sunbox. I wish my green screen wasn't kicking in like that. I'm gonna be the anti-Filipino, and I'm actually gonna peel this off, so hopefully it takes off some of that glare. Oh, it's a little better. So you can make music in Sunbox. There's the keyboard, and it's telling you about the home key. It'll bring you back to the main screen. And the battery indicator, Wi-Fi, power settings, settings. And it's showing you the different plugs that we have. So we've got up on the top, we got USB-A, the headphone jack, and then the micro USB. It's also, the headphone jack is like an auxiliary jack. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're running this outside of the PocketCHIP, you can pull the chip out and use it as with a TRRS cable, and it'll give you composite out with stereo. Let's go back here, we'll hit right again. And for more additional info, we can click on that little help icon, or you can visit the website and enjoy. Tap here to end the tour. Boop. And there you go. That's actually the full, oh man. There's the full desktop there. There we go. And you know, that's the basic setup. And of course, like I said, if you have a basic understanding of Linux, or if you're all about just going ahead and getting your hands dirty, learning about some command line operators, and you know, different things like that, it's actually really easy to use. As I mentioned earlier as well, you can't hear anything right off the bat. It does need some speakers. You can either wire in an amp like I did on the other one with a speaker, or you can go to the dollar store, and since this is all retro looking, a retro speaker. So what's cool about this one is you can just drop it right on the top. Bam! Check that out. Isn't that awesome? Anyway, so let's see, we'll hit make music, and I'm gonna skip the tour on Sunbox. And I know you can't see what I'm doing yet, but really what it boils down to is, let's load a project. Let's see what actually just loads by default. Okay. Yeah, right on. That's just the basic default tune that it comes with right there. One thing that I do have to mention is, sometimes with the OS you can mess around with it way too much and it causes problems. This is a stock install, so right now you're not gonna get a lot of people, including myself, reported that the more you do some stuff with like the audio, it will cause audio pops, glitches, clipping, and things like that. It'll just stall for a couple of seconds and pick back up. Not to scare you away from this type of thing, but it's very possible that you know, you might want to hold off from doing anything crazy, or if you're comfortable as well, you can do what they call the factory reset. There's a little jumper you can do with some of the GPIO pin ports on the top, and then actually you can reflash the whole thing right through Google Chrome, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut that off. There we go. So yeah, there's that. Like I said, there's Pico 8. I've already written actually a couple of games in Pico 8. One has been published. The other one is still in almost finished. Still in development. But that one, the first one is just like what the community calls squashy. There's a bar at the bottom. You hit a ball up and around. There's a very basic version out there where all it does is you just bounce a square ball on a rectangle. I've fleshed it out. I call it Space Squashy, and replaced the basic graphic where I just took like coordinates of like one corner or the other, and that's my paddle. Same thing with the square, which is a ball, with actual sprites. I drew them, replaced it out, put some sound effects, added to the scoring system. A lot of cool things that you can do with it. But that's that one. I've got a vertical scrolling space shooter coming up as well. Really untitled at this point. It's almost done. It's flying, the stars are moving, the points are working, the enemies respawn. No sound effects yet, but yeah, it's all coming. It's all coming together. But keep an eye out for another Pico 8 game. That's also the other one is available as well on the website. If you didn't know, GameBlipsReviews.com. So check that out. So this is a fresh install, like I mentioned, brand new, fresh out of the box. Battery just got charged up, so there's really not too much to show on here. But you know, like I said, it's just an unboxing, so you'll see green screen. You'll see more of what this can do in the near future, especially now that I have a stock version that I can work with versus the one that I've like drilled holes in the body and soldered things to the guts of it. Lots of different things going on right there. So one more quick thing. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I wanted to show off this little item right here. So disconnect it from the cabling here. Like I mentioned, I've been working on a lot of those little dev boards, Raspberry Pis, and as a matter of fact, this one is a Raspberry Pi Zero. I also gutted one of my old classic Atari carts. In this case, there was zero love loss. It was Donkey Kong. That version of that game is terrible. So I gutted it out. I still have the cart. It's sitting on the shelf over there somewhere. But you can see here, I made my own label, Game Blips Arcade, and there you go right there. There's the Pi Zero sitting on some board standoffs. It hooks up to HDMI. It's playing all kinds of retro games right now. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Mega Drive / Genesis, Famicom, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom. Neo Geo is on here. There are some arcade games on there as well. Two of my super favorites, 19XX and Alien vs. Predator. I don't know why I keep going back to those two games whenever I run arcade emulation. But right now, all that stuff is sitting on here with perfect sets of ROMs on a 32 gig card. For each one of those systems, and you can see that's available inside that little slot right there. So yeah, so I've been messing around with some dev boards. This is one of my I wouldn't necessarily crowning achievements, but this is one of my bigger deals since I've started getting into the past few weeks. More on this in probably a future video, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there that, yeah, not only do I have pre-made units that I'm working with, I'm also building my own stuff too, which is pretty cool. Alright, so that's the unboxing for the Next Thing Company's PocketCHIP and $9 chip by itself. You know, do us a favor, give it a thumbs up, like it, don't like it, subscribe if you liked what you see here. You know, whatever you want to do, it's cool. And don't forget, we are offering vinyl cutting services for all of your pop culture needs. So yeah, check it out on our website, www.gameblipsreviews.com. And again, this is Fred with GameBlips, and we'll see you on the next video.